going to discuss a topic on our cloud. That is what you call as your S3. You know S3? So I'm going to start this today. Where it is? Raham. Let's go with the theoretical concept initially, and we'll start the practical later. So let me open the document for you. Okay. So guys, I'm going to start AWS topic called S3 for today. The thing is, like we are going to cover. We are not going to advance for these concepts anymore because like our course is DevOps with AWS, right? So majority of the focus are we are going to for DevOps concepts only. But this AWS we are going to cover, but not that much depth we are going to cover. But we are going to cover the basic and as well as intermediate points for the real-time work. Okay. So first of all, S3. What is the meaning of S3 means? Simple storage service. Here if you observe the name why we are using S3 is on simple. We have single S. Storage, we have single S. And service we have. So all three together is called as S3. That is your simple storage service. It is highly scalable, secureable, and durable to store the data. So that means it is saying that by using simple storage service, you can store the data. The data means it is kind of any kind of object. It might be your PDF format, Excel format, images, videos, whatever, you can store it on the S3 here. Okay. It is highly scalable. Scalable means you can increase the capacity, and highly secureable. You can encrypt your data fully end to end. Okay. And lastly, durable. Durable means long lasting actually. Okay. You can store for months as well as like 12 months, 8 months like that as per your requirement. It is easy to store and retrieve data. So by using S3, right, you can easily store and you can easily retrieve the entire data. Okay, once you store an object in the bucket means where you are storing your object. Okay, remember, you need to remember two things here. One is your bucket, second one is your object. Bucket is nothing but it is a folder inside your device, inside the root folder. And what are the things that you are storing on the bucket is called as object. Bucket means it is going to store like a folder actually. What are the objects you are storing inside a bucket is called as object. So easy to store and retrieve data. It is object based storage. It is, and data can spread across multiple regions. We can spread our data to the multiple regions. Okay. Customers of all size of industry can use Amazon S3 to store and protect any amount of data. For example, have you heard about artifact? Your final war product, var. Lot of people will use some of the artifact called JFrog, Nexus, all these kind of artifact we are going to set up, right? But if you talk, you can use S3 as your artifact storage. On our real-time environment that I have worked on 2 organizations, we have maintained S3 as our artifact. Okay. It is not necessary all the times to keep JFrog or Nexus separately. You can use your S3 as well. Okay. Lot of organizations will keep their WAR products on its only S3 bucket for different clients. Next, can protect any amount of data for a range of use cases such as data lakes, website, mobile application, backup and restore, archive enterprise application, IoT and big data analytics. So all kind of organization can use S3. By using S3, any kind of object you can store for any kind of purpose. Okay. Only one thing remember, S3 is used to store the object. That object can be anything. PDF, Word document, text files, images, videos. Like this. So let's talk about bucket for some time. If we create a root level folder, it is called as bucket. So that means when you go to the console, right? This is your console and go for S3. Actually, this is your root level, guys. You can call it as your root level. If you create a folder here, it is called as your bucket. So all these are my buckets actually. Okay. And remember, if a bucket is created, if you go inside of this bucket, you are not able to create another bucket. You can upload your files, upload your folders, whatever you can upload, but you are never able to create bucket inside a bucket. Clear for you? That's it. So if in a root level, if you create a folder, it is called as bucket. Bucket is used for what, guys? To store the objects. And bucket ownership is not transferable to another account. For example, on GitHub, we have transferred the repository ownership. But if you talk about bucket, you are not able to transfer the ownership to the another account, but you can access the another account buckets. We have that option, but ownership is not able to transfer. After you create a bucket, you can't change its name or region. So remember one thing, buckets are globally accessible. Okay. There is no region specific buckets. You can access it globally. But when you create a bucket, right, it will ask you the region name on which region you want to create. You can select the region name. Once you create the bucket, you are not able to move bucket from one region to another region, as well as once you create a bucket, you cannot change the name. For example, I created a bucket called Raham. I want to rename it Raham Sheikh. Okay, it is not possible. The only possible thing is you can move the objects from one bucket to another bucket. You can delete the bucket. It's the only option we have. Next, but we can do it in another way. If you think logically, I can do it and I will show you on another way as well. On CL, I will show you. Okay. After you, we cannot delete the bucket directly. We need to make it empty first, because why we can't delete bucket means actually it is your bucket, right? You are never allowed to delete this bucket directly, because the bucket will consist of some of the files. And again, inside the folder, you are going to add lot of folders. All these are folder, right? So without emptying the bucket, you are never allowed to delete the bucket directly. So if you want to delete the bucket, we need to empty the data. And after that, the files which we can store from the bucket is maximum 0 to 5 terabytes. So minimum amount we can store it as like up to 1 KB. 0 KB is not able to store anything there. And if you want to store a normal file, what you can this? If you create a normal file, that file doesn't consist of any data. Even you can store that file as well. Okay. So minimum value is 0 kilobyte. Maximum value is, and by default on S3 bucket, hello. Yeah. So by defaultly, you can create up to 100 buckets on your AWS account. But if you want more than 100 on real time, max we can use up to is 40 buckets is very maximum. 40 is many maximum. The average buckets in an organization is 15 to 20. That too depends upon not the requirement. It depends upon the client you are going to use. Okay. Like I will tell you the structure, how the client will form the each and every account. Okay. Each and every client account is going to be separate. So max you can afford is maximum. On non-production, you have a lot of buckets actually. Can arrange up to 30 to 40, but on production maximum 50 is maximum, and even 10 is sufficient as per my understanding. Okay, because we have workload, right? So 10 is max for each client. Next, if you need additional bucket, sir, 100 buckets is over. My client is very big client. Okay, 100 buckets is over for you. Then what about the next one? If you want another buckets, you can contact the AWS customer support and they will speak with you and they will provide the 900 bucket more. You can increase the scale of buckets to 1000 buckets. Okay. For that, you need to pay actually. Okay. We need to pay somewhat of extra amount for the bucket. Next. So let's talk about objects now. Okay. So we are going to talk about objects. Object is nothing but the file or folder or image or video, whatever you are going to place inside a bucket is called as your, it is what you call your object. To store your data in S3, you work with resource called as buckets and objects. A bucket is a container of objects. What is a bucket means? You can also say that bucket is nothing but the main folder in the root level, or it is a container of object. Object is nothing but here the thing which you are going to store on your bucket. Next, object is a file and any metadata that describe the file. So that means object can be a file or it can be metadata. Metadata means data about data. You can also store like that. And finally, with Amazon S3, you can pay what only you can use. For example, if I use 10 buckets, I can be able to only pay for 10 buckets. If I use one bucket, I'll be able to pay for one bucket only. Huh? Bucket. But the maximum limit, if you exceed, then it is going to pay, right? Bucket is free actually for you, okay? But if you exceed the limit of the storing capacity, then it is going to charge for us. Each and everything that you are going to use is only for hour. Okay. Remember, on AWS, the charge is going to be based on hourly basis. If you go for Azure, minute basis, and GCP is seconds based. Okay, that's the difference. AWS is hourly, and all other things are minutes and secondly based. Clear for you? Okay. So is S3 done for you? Done. Start chilling. Okay. So on S3, remember guys, lot of people will tell that you can upload S3 objects on 2 ways, but you can upload objects S3 for 3 to 4 ways actually. Okay. One is your console access. By using console, you can update. Second one is by using AWS APIs. You can update the objects. Third one is by using CLI, command interface. You can upload the objects. Fourth one is SDKs. Okay. SDKs, software development kits. But the thing is, there is certain range for it. Okay. For example, if you want to upload 1 GB of data by using console, it will take a lot of time for you. Okay. For that purpose, you can use your APIs or SDKs. It will be very fast. If you use CLI, that will be very fast. 1 GB of data you can upload it on like within 2 minutes, maximum 2 minutes, and depends upon your internet speed as well at that time. Okay. See, depending upon the size of the object that you are going to upload, Amazon S3 offer different kinds of option. If you want to upload an object in single operation, okay, in single operation, that means in a single time, if you want to upload an object, okay, you can use AWS SDK, API, or CLI. Okay. With help of all these, you can upload single object up to how many GB? 5 GB. With the help of SDK, REST API, or AWS CLI, you can max upload object is 5 GB in size. Okay. But the maximum uploading size from the console you can do it is 160 GB. Okay. Upload a single object using S3 console. How much you can upload? 160 GB, right? So if you upload from CLI, it is 5 GB only. But it is uploading from console, maximum you can upload is 160 GB. And if you upload a object in different parts, previously you upload object on single part by using CLI, API, SDK. The maximum object you can upload is in a single operation. It's 5 GB actually. Okay. But if you opt for multiple options, okay, using the multi-part upload API, you can upload large object up to 5 TB. In a single operation, it is 5 GB. But multiple uploads, you can up to maximum 5 TB. Can anyone tell me why we can upload only 5 TB by using multiple parts? Can't I upload 6 TB? Think logically. Why? Yes, the maximum limit for S3 bucket is 5 TB only, right? By using multi-part, you can upload maximum 5 TB only. You can upload more than that, but the bucket limit is only specified for 5 TB only. That's the reason. And if you want to create a bucket, you need to set something on your mind, because you can't use the naming convention directly. It will follow a set of rules. First of all, the rule is the minimum bucket name is 3 characters. Maximum you can up to 63 characters. But on like before 2018, you have a special thing of like you can give your bucket name up to 255 characters before 2018 March. But after that, they have removed their specification and limit up to 63 characters only, maximum. Minimum is 3 characters, maximum is. And after that, see, first of all, let's go with the components actually. Key is nothing but your object which you are going to upload on your bucket is called as your key. And value is nothing but data in bytes. You have an object. Object will consist of some data. Okay, the data in bytes you are going to see it as value. Versioning ID. I said it right. Versioning. What is the meaning of versioning? Yeah, versioning means what? We have seen. I have explained on COPS. I think so. Versioning means the same object, but you have two replicas. If the one of the object is deleted, you will have another object. Okay, that can be done by using versioning only. If you enable versioning, you will get versioning ID and metadata. You know, data about data is called as your metadata. So these are the key components for a particular object, not for the bucket. It's for object only. Next, if you want to create a bucket, there are some rules, guys. Without following these rules, you are not allowed to create a bucket. First of all, the bucket name must be unique. For example, my name is Raham. If I give the name Raham, by using Raham, there are a lot of buckets entirely. It is not going to take that one. Second thing, name should be set before 3 to 63 characters only. And we are not allowed to give capital letters. We must use only small letters. That means your lowercase. Uppercase is not going to take it. Next, and should not be in IP format also. Bucket name should be not in the IP format. And lastly, must begin with and end with number or letter. We give special characters at the starting, it is not going to take the bucket name. It must start with the number or it will start with the alphabet as well, any of the alphabet. So these are the kind of rules you are going to follow on your bucket creation time. And here a note point, as I said before 2018 March 1st, buckets created in Northern Virginia region couldn't have the names were up to 255 characters. Okay. On 2018 March, the maximum characters are, it will include all the uppercase, lowercase and everything. But from March 1st, 2018, the rules has been, what are the rules that you are seeing, right? All these rules uploaded on the 2018 at that time. And let's talk about versioning for some time now. Versioning means it will enable you the multiple version of the same file. For example, if you have a file, by mistakenly that file is deleted, but by enabling versioning, right, you can store that, you can retrieve that file. Okay, that too only once, and it helps the accidental termination. It can retrieve the previous version of the object. As I said before, it can retrieve the previous version of the object. By default, bucket is not going to enable the versioning by default, but we can enable the version. After enabling, there is no option called disabling. Okay, we can suspend. Once you enable the bucket versioning, then you can only able to suspend it. There is no such option called disabling the versioning. So these are some of the important points like you need to remember while creating the bucket. So here I am having these buckets, right? First of all, let me delete all these buckets for the better cause. See, if I try to delete this bucket, what is saying to me? Bucket is not empty. So first of all, try to empty these buckets. Click on empty, it will ask permanently delete. Copy this one from here. And space is also a count, guys. If you give space also, it is not going to delete this one. So the bucket is deleted now. See, 97 objects is deleted on very short span of time. But the object is having like very lengthy things. It will take some time. So I'm deleting all of these buckets first of all. So yeah, no objects on this bucket. So I have emptied all of the buckets for now. So after that, you need to delete one by one. So delete the bucket, you need to copy the bucket name, click on delete and give the bucket name here. So the bucket will be deleted. And one more thing, space you need to check. So one bucket is deleted. and I'm going to delete the second bucket. If you try to delete 2 buckets at a time, it is not going to possible for you. Okay, one by one only you need to delete. Wait a second, you don't have permission. Okay, it needs some IAM permission. So ignore this one for Elastic Beanstalk. Okay, so it is clear now. So create a bucket. The bucket name I'm going to give it as Raham01. Bucket name I'm going to create is, see, it is saying that if I don't give 01, if I give only 01, if I try to create the bucket, it is not going to take it, because if there is already a bucket name with Raham, it is not going to create me another bucket. So I'm going to give it as Raham01. And AWS region, by default, buckets are globally accessible. Okay, but it will ask the default region, give it as Northern Virginia. This option, it is going to be your optional. It is saying that copy settings from existing bucket. So you are creating this bucket. If you want to copy settings of another bucket to this bucket, you can enable this option. But I don't have any bucket site as of now, so I'm not going to this option. And after that, object ownership. Okay, it is saying that control ownership of the objects written on this bucket from another bucket using ACLs. Object ownership determines who can specify access to the object. So that means it is saying that who can specify to access for the objects is nothing but your object ownership. By default, it is disabled only. It is not recommended to enable. So always it is going to be disabled on your real-time work as well. So block all public access. We use cloud for security purpose, right? If you don't block access from the publicly to your buckets, everyone with the help of internet can access your bucket. So I need to block public access for the bucket. For that purpose, you need to untick this one. If you untick this one, then these 4 options are going to be enabled for you. First one is block public access to the buckets and objects granted the new ACL list. So you are going to remove this access, first of all. Second one is block public access to buckets object granted through any ACL. So first of all, it is going to block new ACL list. After that, it is going to block any ACL list. And third one, bucket access to bucket and object granted that new public bucket or access point policies. If you create a policy, then it is also going to the block for you now. And fourth one is again the any bucket policy, new bucket as well as any bucket only. So after that is done, click on this one. So that means all the 4 options that I have blocked for the public access, I know I have blocked all of this. So you are giving the acknowledgement for it. Okay. Next, bucket versioning. By default, it is, we need to enable it. Tags, if you want to give tags, you can give tags. And again, this encryption, guys. Encryption is nothing but if you want to make secure your data, you can use your encryption here. Okay. For a practice purpose, it is okay to not to give the encryption, but real time they will give encryption like this. You enable, and you have 2 types. One is SSC. Okay. SSC means server side encryption. Second one is server side encryption with KMS. KMS means key management service. We can select any of these options as per your requirement. So I am going to disable it for now because I am not going to have any crucial information for practice. Create a bucket for now. Is the bucket created? The bucket name is. So if you click on here, do we have any files? First of all, if you want to upload a file, you can see 2 options, these 2. Go to upload, add files, and what are the files you are having on your local, select any of this file, open and upload. That's it. This is the simplest way how you can upload files to your S3 buckets. Okay, if you see here, you can see the file name. It is called as your object actually. Object name and object type is txt and lastly modified. This current date and time. Size of this object is storage class your standard. Storage class is again separate concept. You will have a totally 6 storage types. Okay, I will tell you. Standard infrequent access, standard infrequent access, archive, deep archive, glacier. These are some of the storage types for you. Okay, so this is the way how you can upload your objects to the bucket. Again, sir, it is okay. It is okay to upload object like this. But if I want to upload an entire folder, how can I upload? Uploading entire folder. So go for the upload, add folder. If you see here, you can see all of these folders, right? So let me select this folder now and upload. If you see all of these files that I am consisting of the which folder? So all these are my files, right? If we click on upload, all these files will be going to present on a single folder that is called as new dump. So it will take some time actually. It is totally 135 MB inside. So it is almost like taking 2 minutes maximum. No, 2 minutes is actually enough. You can see like how the files are going to upload. Up to 20 files is uploaded. Up to 11.3 MB is uploaded. That means 8% is done up to now. Okay. So let's wait for the remaining things to complete. If you see here, total objects are how much MB? And how many objects you are seeing? 61 objects. So it will take some time. It is saying that estimated time will be 5 minutes, but if your internet is good, it will take only 2 minutes. But my internet is like somewhat of slow, right? So it takes some time. In class lo chambeleskunnaru నాగల్ పంచమని మరి సెలవు ఇవ్వలేదండి మనకి. So if you observe that estimated time will be 5 minutes, actually it is shown, but it is completed soon only because you have somewhat of good internet, right? So it is done. So close now. So are we able to see the folder now? See, this is the symbol of file. This is the symbol of folder. And also you can see the type of this one. If you observe, you are not able to see lastly modified and size of this folder. Why? Yes, if you go to the inside of the folder only, you are able to see lastly modified and size of these objects. Are you seeing it now? So this is the way how you can upload your file as well as how you can upload your folder. For example, this ktest.txt, I have deleted it. By mistakenly, I have deleted it. So click on it, delete it. You need to write the object name and delete it. So give the delete here. Delete this object. Click on close. Are you able to see the object? But I want to retrieve this object. How we can retrieve this? You can have an option called show versioning, right? Click on this one. Are you able to see the data now? So this is the way how you can get your data. If you want to download, you can download from here. If you download same object, you can see it on your where? Local. So this is the way how you can store your objects. And this is the object URL. What it is showing? Because publicly we have make access denied for the other resource. And you can see here the versioning ID, right? This is the versioning ID. It is unique for each and everyone. Again, if you try to delete this version, if I try to delete this version, click on it. See, this is the delete marker. Delete marker means this one is already deleted. This one is your one more copy. If you observe, versioning ID is different from first one to second one. Okay. If we click to delete it now, it will ask permanently delete now. Previously it is asked you delete only, but now it is asking if we give permanently delete now, it is going to delete the entire file now. You are not able to retrieve it any more time. Sorry. You can put. You see this one? Are we able to get any versioning object now? No, because it is permanently deleted now. So this is the way how you can upload and you can make it change. For example, like let me upload one more object for you. Go to upload, add files. Let me upload one more document for you. So I'm uploading this Docker document. Click on upload. Is the Docker document uploaded now? For example, like if you want to change this name, I want to change this name. Bucket name we can't change, but the object name we can change. How to change this name? Click here, go to actions. Here you can have an object called rename object, right? Click on it. Just remove this one. Sorry. Control A. Give it as Raham dot doc. Okay. Is the object name changed now? And extension name also changed. Previously you have document, but now you have doc. Extension name also you can change as per your requirement. Okay. For example, you can see the file size here, but can we able to see the folder size here? I want to see the folder name, sorry, folder size, and also see the number of objects. Click on this one, go to action again. Here you can see calculate total size. If you can see number of objects are and number of sizes, total size is 140 MB. Sir, I want the each and every object. You are having 61 object on your bucket. It is okay. You have showed us total number of MB. Total size of the what we call this folder. But I want size for the each and every object. Then how to do it? If you go to inside this folder, you can directly see it. Are you seeing this one size of this object? So this way how you can see it. For example, raham.dxe is presenting here. If you want to move this to inside this directory, if you want to move raham.doc to your inside this one, click on this one. Actions, you will have two things. One is your copy. Second one is your, you can move and you can copy to the same bucket or different bucket. First of all, I am going to copy this one for the same bucket. So click on copy. Select the bucket name. The bucket name you are going to use this one, right? So initially it's need to be this. So I'm going to click on the same bucket. Inside the same bucket, I can copy to here. Click here and choose destination. Just hit enter. Now it is copied to the internal new dump. If you go to the new dump, the object is copied. Failed to copy. Is it failed? Let me check it. It's copied, right? It is copied completely. And again, I will tell you something like shortcut. On real-time work, you are going to have thousands of objects on a single bucket. If you upload a object, the object will be on the last of everything. If we want to get that object on the top, I upload object just now, but I have 100 objects. If you want to get that object top, what you can do is go to the dump. Here, click on lastly modified for a couple of times. Have you got your lastly upload object? Shortcut like you are going to use on real time. It will save some of your time actually. Okay. So now again, sir, same bucket I have copied, but I want to copy to the different bucket. Click on this one, actions, go to copy, and you need to enter the bucket name manually or you can browse as well. Click on browse, go to the bucket list. I want to copy to Elastic Beanstalk. Click on here, destination, copy. It will be copied now. Where the failed copy is? Successfully copied objects. You need to check on the top. If it is green color, it means successfully done. So click on close and go to your previous bucket called elastic beanstalk. Are you able to see this new dump entirely? This is the way how you can copy. You can copy your file as well as you can copy your folder to one bucket or else another bucket. So move is also same thing, but the difference between copy and move is if you copy, two objects will be there on two buckets. If you move, only one object on the two buckets. I mean like any one of this bucket. That's the only difference. And again, these activities you can do by using CLI as well. I will tell on the CLI concept. For example, if you want to edit the storage class, what is the storage class here? If you want to edit the storage class, go to action, edit storage class. You can see number of storage options, right? This is your storage class. So let's understand what is storage class and why it is going to use it for us. So first of all, we are going to use standard. If you want to access any data frequently, okay, if you want for example, you are having your real-time work, you are going to access frequently, daily you need to access. So for that kind, you are going to use, and the availability zones are greater than 3 actually, greater than or equal to, minimum is 3, maximum is greater than 3. And minimum duration, you don't have any minimum duration for it, as well as you don't have any fee for it and retrieval fee for it. Okay, this is completely free for you, standard is. After that, you are having your IT. IT means intelligent tearing. Okay, data with changing or unknown access pattern. So that means if you are going to change the data frequently, you are going to use IT for it. And availability zones are same for it. And there is no minimum duration and minimum billing for the object size. Remember, only a standard class is going to give you for free. But after standard class, you are going to pay bill for it. So the billing for the monitoring and auto tearing fees, it is if the object is only greater than 128 KB, then only it is going to apply for you. If the object is having less than 128 KB, you are not going to get the bill for it. And standard IA, infrequent access. For example, if you want to access the data once in a month, that means like rarely. So you can use standard infrequent access, and the availability zones are again greater than or equal to 3. And the minimum storage duration, someone asked, sir, can we get for the limit, right? So minimum storage duration is up to 30 days. And after that, minimum billing for the object is it needs to be have at least 128 kilobytes. Otherwise, if it is below 128 KB, you are not going to get the charge. And if you want to retrieve the data is per GB. The fee you are get is 1 GB only. So for 1 GB, it is 10 rupees like that. Next, one zone IA. One zone IA means recreatable infrequent access data once in a month stored in a single availability zone. So the difference between standard IA and one zone IA is both are working for the same purpose, accessing one in a month. Okay, but the availability zone for standard IA is greater than or equal to 3. But availability zone for one zone is only one availability zone. Days are 30, and again all the things are same for the one zone IA. Next, glacier. If you want to access your data like very rarely, okay, if you want to store the data for the long time, very long time, then we are going to use glacier. And availability zones are, and minimum storage duration is 90 days. And again, size is 128 KB only, and fee also retrieval fee per GB only. And after that, you are going to get your glacier flexible retrieval. Okay, formally known as glacier, because glacier you will have 3 options. One is your glacier instant retrieval. Second one is glacier retrieval, formerly called as your glacier only. But the new naming convention changed it to glacier flexible retrieval. But the old name is glacier only. And one more thing is your glacier deep archive. So on glacier, you are going to have 3 types. First one and second one is same, greater than or equal to 3, greater than or equal to 3. Storage duration is, and the minimum size is 128 KB. But for the glacier, you are not going to have minimum storage one. Okay, and again, fee will be same for everything. Fee will be same for GB. And last thing, you are going to have your reduced redundancy. For example, non-critical frequently access data with millisecond access. If you want to access data in milliseconds, so then you are going to use it as reduced redundancy. Remember, no one is going to use this one on real time unless and until you have a requirement, because you are going to charge very high for it, because the data on these buckets will be accessible for use in millisecond of time. So if you want to access the fast data, you are going to pay more for it. Okay. So there is no minimum duration for it. There is no minimum size for it. There is no minimum durability for it. Okay. Fees will be applied again per GB. So these are going to be your storage classes entirely. So I'm going to make it as IT, intelligent tiering, save changes. So it will be applied successfully now. So are you seeing the storage type as intelligent tiering now? This is the way how you can storage your storage class. And one more thing, real time, if you go for maximum, we opt for standard only, maximum times. And again, there is some action call here. Edit metadata. Like if you want to edit server-side encryption, I haven't given any encryption, but again, if you want to encrypt the server-side data, you can also encrypt like this. And if you want to give the tags, I'm not giving tags on real time also object. We are not going to give the tag. We are just going to store it only. Okay. If it is requirement for you, you have a lot of objects, then only you are going to use this tags concept. And again, if you want to see this object, for example, I have this object. If you want to open this object, click on open. Is it deleted, downloading? So if you open, are you able to see the content now? This is my content. So this is the way how you can work on the S3. And again, you can copy the entire things. Let me explain one more concept for you. First of all, I am going to empty this bucket. So the concept in this bucket is we are going to see CRR. So the meaning of CRR means cross region replication. Meaning of CRR is, let me tell you the meaning of cross region replication. For example, yes, I have a bucket here. I have another bucket here. Okay. I am using this bucket. I don't want to give access to this client, but my client want to see everything on my bucket, but I am not going to give access for this bucket. So you are going to create one more bucket for the client. If you upload any of the object here, it is directly going to replicate to the client. If a client upload any object, it is directly going to replicate for me. So by using which concept we are going to do this one? Cross region replication. Which one we are going to use it? If you upload any object on one bucket, it is going to replicate to the another bucket. Okay. So let's do this. First of all, we need to create couple of buckets like here. Share, create a bucket, create with Raham02. Go for the Northern Virginia. And this time I have my bucket, right? Can I copy the settings from existing bucket? So click on choose bucket and I'm going to copy the settings from Raham01. Choose bucket. That's it. Just go and create here. If you see object versioning, we haven't enabled here, but it is enabled on that bucket. And block all public access. Here we need to enable this one manually. Okay. Create a bucket. So I do have two buckets. The thing is, if I upload an object on Rahman, it needs to be replicated to. For that purpose, we are going to create this one. Go to the management. Here you can create replication rule. Click on it. The replication rule is I am going to give the bucket name only for my better understanding. Okay. So here you need to see this one. Source bucket means your current bucket. Your current bucket name is, it is on which region? So choose a rule scope. That means limit the scope of using this rule, one or more filters, or apply to all the objects. So you need to select this one. Apply to all objects. It is saying that whether your bucket is on this account or another account. If it is this account, you can select this. If it is on another account, you need to specify account you are having 12-digit number. Okay, that is called as you will get it on AWS IAM concept. You need to enter 12-digit IAM code as well as your bucket name. But I am not going to have my bucket on another account, right? I am going to have my bucket on same account. So you need to click on the first one. Click on the browse option. Here you need to select which one, guys, your destination as Raham02. Source is Raham01, destination is 02. Choose a path. Okay, and for the IAM role, you can create IAM role or you can use the existing IAM role. So I am going to create new role for this bucket. So if you want to replicate objects by using encryption, you can use KMS encryption, but I don't want to enable all of this. Just click on save. It will ask you if you have any objects, you want me to replicate those as well. If you want to exist one, okay. For example, you have create replication from bucket 1 to bucket 2. It is asking that, do you want to replicate the existing objects? If you want, you can click yes. If you don't want, you can click on no. I am clicking on no and submit. Okay. So it is done now. If we go and see here, if I upload an object on Raham1, it is going to replicate where? Let's test this one. Add file and add any of the small file. 2 kilobyte. Yeah, let's go with PPK file. Close. Is the PPK file presenting on your Raham01? If you go to Raham02, as it came, because it will take some time. Okay, replication will not work immediately. It will take some certain time, at least case a minute. Okay, so let's wait for a minute. You can see if you observe on Raham02, have you got the file? Where it came from? From Northern Virginia source to destination to Mumbai. So this is the way how you can create cross-region replication. But again, if I want to upload object, if I upload here, is it replicated to Raham01? Why? Yes or no, first of all? Yes, it is not going to replicate because you have enabled this lifecycle rule. Again, here we need to create the lifecycle rule, right? So create replication rule here. Rule ID, I am going to give the same bucket name. So apply to all objects and you need to select your destination. So Raham02 is source now. Destination will be, click on Raham1, choose a path. IAM role, if you want to create a new role, wait a second. Session expired. Let me refresh this one. So create this rule one more time. I'm giving the bucket name same here. If you want to give your name, you can create your name as well. Raham01, choose a path. So IAM role, you can create the new role or you can select the existing role. So I'm going to create a new role and click on save. So now here I am going to upload one more object for you. Okay. I don't want to replicate existing objects. Okay. Click on no. So go to your bucket, upload file, like take a book one. It is 9 kilobytes only. If you upload, a file here. So it is going to replicate where now? Go to RAM01. Refresh once. We are not able to see now. So wait for a minute. It will going to replicate. And depends upon the size of the file. It is going to take the time. If you upload the file in GBs, it will take a lot of time. But if you want to make it soon as possible, you have an option. What it is? Reduced. Yes, you can use that option and object will be accessed by on milliseconds only. But again, it is going to charge for you. Have you got this one? So this is the how cross-region replication is going to work. But again, if you delete an object here, do you think it is going to delete there? Yes or no? Okay, let's check it. ఒకటి చెప్పండి. It will delete. So see this. Wait for a minute and give refresh. Is it deleted here? It is not going to be actually. Okay. If you upload an object, it is going to upload. But if you delete, it is not going to make it unavailable for your bucket. So that's about S3. So on today's class, like again, if you want to delete, you know how to delete, right? First of all, we need to empty the bucket. So click here, empty. For empty, you need to give permanently delete. Okay. So copy this from here, paste it over here. So now delete the bucket. So we need to give the bucket name for it. So okay, guys, for the online people, is it clear? Do you have any doubts on this concept on S3 or like this one, Sierra? If you are having any doubts, you can ask me.